Hey fans, let's welcome the following groups to bring her to that field. Number 1 fans in number 2. Arcadis Family and Friends. Biggest Little City FC. Cars, Trucks and Landscaping. Hawkins Travis. Melinda Joy Family and Friends. Ash Monsters. Players 05RR. Reno MDs 1868. True Real Estate. Happy birthday, Allison, a.k.a. Deer. Happy 12th birthday, Ava Seager. Tonight's referees in the match. Referee Victor Rivas. Assistant referees Seth Martin and Stephen McGonigal. And the fourth official on the sideline, Lee Hulsing.
Following a historic inaugural season, the upstart Reno 1868 FC looks to continue their march as playoff action begins. And for Oklahoma City, they come in as the hottest team in the circuit, having won 4 in a row. The chase for the USL Cup begins tonight on My21 TV. From inside Greater Nevada Field in downtown Reno, we welcome you to tonight's broadcast. Hey everybody, alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies. Colin, this is a match that the city has been waiting a long time for here in this inaugural season. I imagine the atmosphere is going to be raucous.
Yeah, it will definitely be rocking out here in Reno tonight. The Battleborn Brigade will be ready. Huge playoff game. Very first season, to be able to host a playoff game here at Greater Nevada Field will be huge for this club in this city.
Reno's been fantastic at home, only 2 losses on the entire slate. And when you look at this matchup against Oklahoma City, it's going to be the 3rd time they've played each other this year. Both teams winning at home. And in their last matchup a couple weeks ago, Reno put on a fantastic 3-0 performance behind Lindo Mafeka.
Yeah, Lindo Mafeka with the hat trick. He really was fantastic that night. I mean, it shows that why he's a San Jose Earthquakes player. And they'll be excited because they'll be looking at him for the first team next season. But yeah, he'll be hoping for something like that tonight against an Oklahoma City team that has really improved since that trip down here to Reno.
Yeah, and for Oklahoma City, a formation change since that loss here to Reno, and it has really paid off as they have won 4 consecutive matches. As I mentioned, the hottest team going into this postseason. They come in as the number 6 seed, Reno at number 3. All right, Colin, let's take a look at the rest of this USL playoff bracket. Already an upset in the Western Conference as Sacramento, the number 8 seed, goes in to Real Salt Lake, and they're able to top the Monarchs, the number 1 seed in the entire league last night, over penalty kicks.
Yeah, it goes to show that in playoffs, seeding doesn't really matter because Sacramento came to Salt Lake City, a team that's been on fire all season. They held them to a draw and then won in penalties. Really a great result for Sacramento Republic.
And really could benefit Reno as the rest of this playoffs shake out. We'll see if that will come into play. When we look at the Western Conference and what else is out there, the winner of this match, they'll take on number 2 San Antonio or number 7 Tulsa. When you look at this Western Conference bracket, Colin, what else sticks out to you in your minds?
I think another match that really sticks out is Swope Park Rangers versus Phoenix Rising. I think that's a match that could go either way. Phoenix Rising are looking red hot in the close of this season, and with players like Didier Drogba, Omar Bravo, and Sean Wright Phillips, they'll be a real concern for Swope Park Rangers.
All right, getting set tonight here in downtown Reno for Reno 1868 and Oklahoma City. We'll be back with our starting lineups, our key players for the match, and finally kickoff here in the biggest little city. The Battle-Born Brigade ready for this match here tonight. The opener for the United Soccer League playoffs as Reno 1868 capping off their inaugural season, number 3 in the Western Conference, and they'll show down with Oklahoma City, who would finish in 6th. Back alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies. Colin, well, one big note in this game for Reno 1868, they were the highest scoring team in the United Soccer League, actually set a league record for most goals scored in a season with 75. However, not in the starting lineup. We'll go over those in a second, but not in the starting lineup. Dane Kelly, who did win the Golden Boot with 18 goals. However, after missing 3 matches, we are thinking that there's a possibility to see him at some point tonight.
Yeah, Reno 1868 fans will be relieved to see Dane Kelly's name on the bench after missing the last few games. He's someone with the possibility of coming in and really creating that spark to try and get a goal if things are level.
Reno's been a little bit banged up, but they are getting healthier. Brian Brown, who missed a couple matches, he is back, as is Antoine Opano, who didn't miss any time, but he has been nicked up as well. So we'll see how that plays into our match here tonight. Let's go over tonight's key players to watch, and certainly some star power in this one. We'll start with Oklahoma City, Jose Angulo, and he has been tremendous. The 29-year-old has been tough for other teams to stop.
Yeah, Jose Angulo is someone who's really changed this OKC attack since coming in midseason from St. Louis. With so many goals, he's someone who can also link up with the wingers. He can play with his back to goal. He's an intelligent player, great movement, and can score left foot, right foot, head, you name it.
Leads the team with 15 goals, also has 7 assists. From Colombia, also has professional time in Germany. Certainly a guy to look out for Jimmy Nielsen's club. On the other side of the pitch, Reno's key player to watch, Chris Wehan. What can you say about this young man? Undrafted, coming out of New Mexico, and he has been phenomenal. 12 assists to set a new USL record. I think he's got to be the favorite for the USL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's certainly the front runner for Rookie of the Year. Chris Wehan has been outstanding this season. Led the league in assists with 12, and he's someone who just links up with the rest of the attack. He makes his forwards around him better, and he can chip in with the odd goal as well.
Yeah, Wehan, 8 goals himself, one of the top scorers on this Reno team, and certainly will be a big piece for them here tonight. All right, let's take a look at the starting 11s for the Oklahoma City Energy first. Along with Angulo, this is a team that has switched to a 4-4-2 now. And one notable guy that is not in the lineup, Alex Dixon, had played in 31 of 32 matches. Their leading chance creator also had 7 goals, so they'll be missing him. Jonathan Brown sliding in that right winger spot for him.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise for us to see no Alex Dixon on the field. I think he's someone whose pace could threaten the left back, Jordan Morel, but Jimmy Nielsen elects to start Jonathan Brown instead.
It's a strong back four for Oklahoma City. They have a lot of continuity between Highland, Wallace, Fink, and Dixon. Really, I think they're one of the best defensive sets in the entire league.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're a team that like to sit back. They like to defend really deep, which doesn't really play into Reno's hands with the way they transition. And they're going to try and counterattack through Vucic and Angulo.
CJ Cochran in goal. He made 7 appearances after an injury to their captain, Cody Lorendi. Reno did see Cochran in the second half of their last match. It was Lorendi actually was injured in that match last time when Reno was able to come away with a 3-0 win. For 1868 and Ian Russell, let's take a look at their starting 11. Brian Brown, as I mentioned, he's back up top with Antoine Opano. Lindo Mafeka is coming strong over the last couple of weeks. He now has 6 goals on the season. And speaking of great back fours, Reno now healthy again with their 4 of Morel, Griffiths, Ockford, and Richards, and these 4 have been spectacular.
Yeah, it's good to see a lineup of these 4 once again. They're going to have their hands full with Angulo and Vucic, so they're going to want to be on the same page defensively and watch out for the aerial threat of those 2.
Matt Bersano, a San Jose Earthquakes loanee, has been jumping back and forth between here and the Bay Area, but he is back in uniform for 1868 this evening. In 27 games, had 9 clean sheets, which was good for a tie for 4th place in the circuit. Certainly a breakout season for Matt Bersano here in Reno.
Yeah, Matt Bersano will be very pleased with his performances out here in Reno. I'm sure San Jose Earthquakes are very pleased as well. He's a good leader out there. I mean, he's really embraced this Reno team, and he loves playing for this city.
Antoine Opano at the top for Reno. Talk about missing Dane Kelly, but Opano is a guy that not only can create chances, he can wreak havoc, but he is very good at finishing in front of the net as well. Really a big reason why Reno is here now at the start of the season. Opano playing in the midfield. As soon as he was moved up to one of those striker spots, that was really one of the turnarounds for this Reno team early in the season.
Yeah, all season long, the partnership of Opano and Dane Kelly has been fantastic. He struck up a good partnership with Brian Brown as well, so they're a good combination where Brian Brown's physicality and Antoine Opano's relentless running work really well together.
Teams heading out now onto the pitch here at Greater Nevada Field. We are just minutes away from kickoff. Here, a look at Ian Russell. He has been the head man here in this inaugural season for Reno 1868. And I tell you what, we talked about Weehan being a Rookie of the Year candidate. Ian Russell has got to be on the short list to win Coach of the Year in this circuit.
Yeah, he definitely is on my short list. I think with Real Monarchs' early exit, I think he can see himself as the front runner for Rookie of the Year if they win tonight.
On the other side, OKC led by Jimmy Nielsen, 40-year-olds, made a name for himself in the MLS playing in goal for Sporting KC. Actually won the MLS Cup in 2013, so he knows a thing or two about winning in the postseason, and he will lead this Energy team, again, a club that has won 4 in a row, the hottest team in the USL. We'll step aside for tonight's national anthem now.
Twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Very nicely done here tonight in downtown Reno. We are moments away from kickoff as Reno 1868 and Oklahoma City will begin their journey in the USL postseason. A look down Reno's bench. Again, there's Ian Russell, played in the MLS with the San Jose Earthquakes, and him and Jimmy Nielsen, again, these are two guys that know how to win. Russell, part of some MLS Cup championship teams in San Jose, 2 of them. And again, Nielsen, as a goalkeeper, was able to hoist the cup just a few years ago. Certainly 2 guys that made a mark in American soccer.
Yeah, 2 guys that know how to navigate through playoffs as players, so they'll show that they know how to do it as coaches as well tonight.
Look at Jimmy Ockford, Reno's captain, as he meets with our referees for tonight. It'll be Victor Rivas, our head referee. On the lines will be Seth Martin and Stephen McConigal. Beautiful night here in downtown Reno. It is a little cool and crisp, but for this time of year, it could be a lot colder, maybe even possibly snow. So I think the way it's shaping up, this is just about perfect fall soccer conditions as playoff soccer has now come here to Northern Nevada.
Yeah, this is ideal conditions to play in. Not a single bit of wind, nice and cool, but not too cold. I think these players are really looking forward to this tonight.
Reno coming in 17 wins on the year. They had 7 losses and 8 draws. That was good for 59 points and a 3rd place finish in the Western Conference. In particular, this Reno team exceptional here in their home building where they lost only twice in 16 matches, a record of 9 wins, 2 losses, and 5 draws. The only losses coming to the top-seeded Real Monarchs, who we mentioned in the open a couple minutes ago knocked out by Sacramento, and Reno also losing their very first match of the season back on March 25th against Orange County. But I tell you what, led by that Battleborn Brigade right there, you see him setting off the smoke bombs. This has been a tough place for the opposition to come in and try and get points.
This has been a really tough place for teams to come in and try to get a win. With the way Reno attacks with so many numbers, just transitioning so quickly with a lot of runners, and this Battleborn Brigade behind them, cheering them on in this altitude, it's tough for anyone to come to.
There they are in blue, the Battleborn boys. Vamos Azules, as the fans say here in Reno, and it is going to be jacked up here tonight as one of these two teams looks to move on and face the winner of San Antonio and Tulsa. The battle for the USL Cup begins tonight for this Reno 1868 team after what has been a remarkable inaugural season. And standing in the way, wearing the white jerseys tonight, Oklahoma City, who I think has some revenge on their mind. Last time they came in to Greater Nevada Field, they not only suffered a defeat, but a very easy win for Reno as they were able to take it 3-0. Again, Energy have not lost since that match, though. They have fired off 4 consecutive wins. We'll see how they have organized here tonight with something a little bit different. I mentioned a little bit earlier a bit of a formation change for Oklahoma City, but explain what we're going to see different that you expect in this match compared to when these two teams last faced off.
I just think having Vucic alongside Angulo just lets Angulo be a little less isolated. I think it was difficult for Oklahoma to get him the ball last time they were here, and with Vucic there to occupy the defenders and be a real physical presence, Angulo will find the space to really pull the strings from the attack and to pop up into space in front of the goal as well.
Juan Pablo Guzman puts it into play, and we are underway here in the United Soccer League playoffs from Greater Nevada Fields in downtown Reno, Nevada. Opening possession goes out of play, and so Jordan Morel now will throw it in. Energy in the offensive half. Able to get into the box. Chance here early. Bersano gets the save, and he hangs on to it. But a very scary moment for Reno here just 30 seconds into this match.
Yeah, and Angulo does really well peeling off of Brenton Griffiths there, finding the space to put this back across for Vucic. And Vucic, the powerful header that Matt Bersano gets fingertips to. Great opportunity in the opening seconds for OKC.
Here's Reno going the other way. Can't keep it in play. And now a throw in for Miguel Gonzalez. So Bersano tested very early on, and he is up to the challenge. Came in with 68 saves on the season, allowed only 32 goals in his 27 matches. Split time early in the season with Andrew Tarbell, who has since taken over the head goalkeeping job in San Jose with the Earthquakes after being drafted in the first round this past year out of Clemson. And Bersano has been a great presence in goal for this Reno team all season long. Here's a look on the other side. CJ Cochran, an Alpharetta, Georgia native. Boots it all the way down to the other side of the field. Griffiths will escort that one out of play. Gets a shoulder check by Jonathan Brown. But a goal kick upcoming now for Matt Bersano.
Yeah, this is going to be a test for CJ Cochran, a guy who's stepped in and done really well since the injury here to Cody Lorendi. So he'll be looking forward to tonight.
Some action tonight across the USL. One game has gone final with Rochester topping Charlotte. That game would go to penalty kicks, or excuse me, going to overtime, where Rochester would prevail by a score of 2-1. They advance to play Louisville, who easily moved on last night with a 4-0 win over Bethlehem.
And how about New York Red Bulls, too? In the 86th minute, they are up 4-0 against Charleston Battery. Another big upset in the USL, it looks like.
Charleston came in the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. The Red Bulls, last year's champions, trying to make a run back to the USL Cup. Last year in the Western Conference, it was represented by Swope Park. They're the 4 seed this year, and they'll take on a red-hot Phoenix Rising team led by soccer superstar Didier Drogba.
This Phoenix Rising team late season is really pushed to be one of the better teams in the Western Conference. I've been especially impressed with Alessandro Riggi. I think they're a team that a lot of people in the West will fear.
Bersano down the fields. Yanked to the ground there is Brown. He was just pulled down to the grass by Baril. It'll be a foul, no card. Reno quickly trying to put it back into play, and they had a chance for Opano. And just past him, Reno trying to sneak that one and got it past the Energy defense, and they almost got the early goal.
Yeah, that was great hold-up play by Brian Brown to earn the foul. And Luis Felipe spots Opano's run for a quick free kick, but Opano just can't get his toe onto that. Great early chance for Reno there.
Came in expecting Oklahoma City maybe to sit back, be very defensive-minded. I haven't really seen that here in the first couple minutes.
No, they're pressing a lot higher than I would have expected. Now as Jimmy Hawkford gets the ball, they're waiting till the ball comes into their half, trying to restrict space in behind, not trying to commit too many numbers forward, but they've definitely pushed further forward than I would have expected in these opening minutes.
Live here tonight from Greater Nevada Fields and Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of this beautiful two-sport facility. 2 playoff teams this year in Northern Nevada. The Reno Aces, AAA affiliate for the Arizona Diamondbacks, would make it to the Pacific Coast League Division Series. And now Reno 1868 playing in the first round tonight of the United Soccer League playoffs. The keeper, Cochran, will come over and grab it, give his boys a chance to move forward.
Yeah, Chris Weehan thought Opano was making that diagonal run in the corner. Tried the dummy to make space for him, but him and Opano weren't on the same page there.
Cochran, in his 7 appearances, has been very good in relief of Lorendi, who is injured. He has only allowed 6 goals in 7 appearances. Has really performed well in his 2nd season with Oklahoma City after coming out of Georgia State University last year. Here's a run on the outside by the Energy, volleyed into the box, headed away by Richards. Now LaGrassa will get it away, and a whistle blown on Juan Pablo Guzman. Speaking of that Swope Park Phoenix match, they are underway right now in the Kansas City area. No score through 17 minutes of play. Also in action tonight in San Antonio, the 2-seeded San Antonio FC, scoreless after 13 minutes against the Tulsa Roughnecks. The winner of that match and this match will play next Saturday night. Reno certainly hoping to get a win and an upset from Tulsa, because that would mean Reno would host again here at Greater Nevada Fields.
Yeah, and I don't know if Reno are looking too forward to another trip to San Antonio. Last time it didn't go so well for them, but it was the beginning of the season, and this is a much different looking Reno 1868 team than the one that traveled to San Antonio all the way back in April.
Sent it on the outside for Gonzalez, being guarded by Richards. Across the field and no one's there. Chris Weehan will find it over his shoulder and quickly sprints it back the other way. Down the field for Antoine Opano, intercepted by Sam Fink. And back to CJ Cochran. Here's Lindo Mafeka. Matt LaGrassa. Over the corner for Luis Felipe Fernandez.
Well handled by Kyle Highland there to make the tackle.
Highland and Gonzalez combining on the defense to take it away from Reno deep in Oklahoma City's half.
And Reno are really struggling to get their passing play together so far in these opening minutes. The 1 or 2 passes will come, and then things will start to fall apart. It is still early times here tonight, though, so they might build more into the game as time goes on.
Here's Brenton Griffiths, 26-year-old from Jamaica, one of 3 from the island nation on this 1868 club, along with Brian Brown and Dane Kelly. There's Brown giving chase in the corner. Little shove goes out of play, and Brown trying to earn a corner kick and will not get it. Nice sportsmanship there, going to help up Anthony Wallace. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
Yeah, I feel like Brian Brown was a little too eager there. I think Anthony Wallace already had taken a heavy touch before the foul, so it looked like the corner was happening. But Brian Brown gives the foul away there.
Richards on the throw-in, tapped by Brown. Here's Mafeka. A lot of pressure on him. Looked like it was last touch by Wallace, but they'll signal maybe it was Mafeka, so Highland will quickly pick it up and throw it in back into midfield. Here's Angulo, team's leading scorer, leading the charge down the field. Brown trying to find it into the back corner, and too strong. Looking to connect there, and we go through now almost 10 minutes of play here tonight, and a 0-0 contest.
Yeah, we've seen a couple times now how OKC are going to be trying to attack this Reno defense. They try to play the ball into the feet of Jose Angulo. Jose Angulo will lay it off out wide to one of the wingers, and then they'll look for the combination of Angulo and Vucic, mostly on the far post for those deep crosses into them. 2 players that are very good in the air.
Couple headers there from Felipe and then Brown, but stolen away by the Energy. Looking to go down the field for Brown. Goes into the box, no one's home though. Morel trying to get it down the field and ricochets out of bounds.
Now Reno having a little trouble building out of the back. As we said before, OKC are pressing higher than they might have expected, so it's tough to get players like Lindo Mafeka and Chris Weehan involved right now.
Richard Dixon, also from Jamaica, on the throw-in. Oklahoma City really doing a good job controlling the tempo of this match here early on the road. I feel like they've really had possession for a good chunk of this early match.
Yeah, they came out tonight ready to play, ready to make themselves a real nuisance and not play into Reno's hands.
Well, an early goal for both teams, so crucial in a match like this. Especially for Reno, if they can get on the board early, we have seen them absolutely pile on and steamroll some teams this year. As many as 9 goals in one match at Greater Nevada Field this season, and a couple of times where we've seen 6. A lot of firepower once they break that seal.
Yeah, Reno's a team that likes to score early, and when they score, the floodgates start to open because teams will start to open up a little more, which gives Reno that space that they crave to attack with.
Here's Matt LaGrassa. Outside to Richards. Good pass there for Felipe. Couldn't quite get to it. Wallace will send it out of bounds. Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Mafeka gets away, gets it to Richards. Trying to get it in there, goes off of Guzman. Reno will run a lot of their offense through their outside backs. You'll see Richards and Morel playing forward quite a bit. Into Brown, left foot, saved by Cochran.
Oh, that's a huge save there by C.J. Cochran. Brian Brown does so well to turn Sam Fink. He uses his body to shove Sam Fink away. Anthony Wallace. Great control with his thigh. But CJ Cochran comes up huge from that shot.
Cochran almost a little bit lucky to make that save. It was as if just get my body in front of it and hope some kind of limb will deflect the ball, and luckily for him, it would go off of his thigh. But good reaction time nonetheless.
Yeah, from that kind of angle and that close, the keeper just wants to make himself as big as he possibly can. You can't really react so well to a shot from that close, but you just make yourself big and hope for the best, and Cochran did really well there.
Mafeka able to win it in the midfield, gets it to Brown, who goes again with the left foot, trying to find the upper right corner, but too much. And Cochran will now send his men forward, take some time to settle things. They have gone final tonight. Charleston topped by New York 4-0. Mentioned big upset there in the Eastern Conference side of the bracket. We've also got Tampa Bay on top of FC Cincinnati. That is a 2-0 lead for the Rowdies right now in minute number 64.
Yeah, I think FC Cincinnati fans were hoping that their Open Cup form would come into a playoff scenario like this, where they did so well in U.S. Open Cup, obviously.
Made it all the way to the final.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't come for them so far, it looks like.
Throw in taken away by Guzman. Over to Barril. Little Mafeka getting in the way, and Barril will kick it right into Reno 1868's bench. Look at Dane Kelly on the end there with the ball and flipping it back into play, hoping to see him at some point tonight. Missed the last 3 matches with a hamstring injury. And yet still, even despite missing the final 3 and only playing in 27 of 32 matches overall this year, still enough time to win that Golden Boot. 18 goals for Kelly, the most in his 6-year USL career, only padding his all-time stats, the all-time leading scorer in the circuit. 67 goals over 6 years, and hard to believe it took him this long with that many goals to have won a Golden Boot.
It really is hard to believe. I mean, I don't think before the season he ever broke 12 goals. He's always been a consistent goal scorer in this league, but here he really broke out this season and was really the shining star for this Reno 1868 team and USL as a whole.
Barril making a run through the Reno defense. Gets it through to Angulo, and Ockford will box him out and allow Bersano to come up and grab it. Good defense there as Oklahoma City was able to knife through Reno's defense.
Yeah, and that was excellent movement from Jose Angulo. He pulled Jimmy Ockford a little bit away from Brenton Griffiths and then saw that space in between the two, and Barril tried to thread the needle there, but Reno's defense handles it well.
Broadcast tonight brought to you by Coors Light. The bigger the mountain, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Here's Highlands, being matched up by Felipe. Gets away from him. Looked like he was trying to center it there for Angulo, and it just came off of his foot funny.
Even from that, you see how OKC's trying to cross the ball. They're trying to chip it in there and let Vucic or Angulo rise up and meet it rather than driving it across and looking for a touch from there. They want to use Vucic's physical presence.
Bersano from Chandler, Arizona. Signed by the Earthquakes in March of this year. Coming over from the Seattle system, where he played for the Sounders 2 last year. Just got an update from San Antonio, where Tulsa has taken the early 1-0 advantage, and that is a very pleasant sound for Reno 1868. Already seen the #1 team in this conference knocked out last night in Real Monarchs, and Tulsa with an advantage on San Antonio.
Also welcome news for OKC Energy fans. If they pull a result out here, then that means they host their state rivals, Tulsa, rather than having to travel to Tulsa.
It's possible by the end of the night, if Reno can win and Tulsa can win also, Reno may very well play at home for the rest of these USL playoffs, including the USL Cup. You're talking about the rest of the Western Conference, and the only team in the East that would have a higher seeding than them would be the #1 team, and that's Louisville. That's it.
Yeah, it's really opening up for Reno to be able to host their way through all the way to the end if they do make it. But tonight their focus is OKC, a team that's done really well defensively so far and has had a couple great chances of their own.
Set piece opportunity coming up here for Chris Wehan. Vucic was trying to come up on the ball, but not happening, says Victor Rivas. Wehan, one of the top chance creators in the USL this year. 66 chances created, third best in the circuit. Mentioned earlier, the record set now for assists in a season with 12. A breakout rookie season for the Southern California native in his first year of professional soccer coming out of college at New Mexico.
I think some MLS teams are scratching their heads wondering why they didn't draft him in this last MLS Super Draft, because he's been phenomenal in USL and he's been outperforming almost every single player who did get drafted and is playing in USL.
Wehan into the box, cleared away by the Energy. Mafeka able to hold up Barrio, but he gets it wide. Reno's got to be careful of the counter here. Once again, they're able to find Brown in the corner. Chance here, and popped up, headed away by LaGrassa, not out of trouble yet. Guzman's got it. Yeah. Another dangerous ball in from Brown, who's getting all sorts of space in that right corner.
Yeah, and another chipped ball to the far post where Vucic was waiting, but he made a mess out of that volley when he had all the time in the world and the path to see it.
Wehan trying to steam through on the counterattack. He meets resistance, and Energy able to steal it back away from him as he was trying to flip the field quickly.
(1868) center backs will want to make sure that they're not caught ball watching, that they're not caught getting sucked into the play, because these OKC wingers are really trying to play that far post for Vucic to get a free run at it.
Goal in the 23rd minute by Paris Guy of Tulsa, giving them the 1-0 advantage over San Antonio, that game being played tonight in Texas. Tulsa the 7 seed, San Antonio the 2 seed. Anything can happen once you get into the postseason. Really, all of these seedings, records, it all gets thrown out the window, as we have already seen in the first night and a half of this postseason. Here's Brown again. Crosses the field, Felipe. Got a Richards behind him, tries to go in, but Wallace, easy chance just to head it out. Mafeka, who is such a rock star in that game against the Energy last time, that hat trick, hasn't had a whole lot of space to work with so far.
Yeah, they're really trying to negate Mafeka's space to shoot. He had some spectacular goals last time OKC Energy were here, and they're going to want to make sure that doesn't happen again. So anywhere 30 yards from goal, they'll be wary of Lindo Mafeka popping up and having space to shoot.
Here's Chris Wehan. Over to Antoine Opino. Opino takes a shot at it right to goal as Cochran's there to make a two-handed catch. USL, one of the most prominent second division leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date on the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. Follow them on Twitter @USL. Nice job there by Felipe to steal it away from Angulo. Mafeka dumps it off for Weehan. Here's Richards now coming up from his fullback spot. Richards surveys the field, sends it back for LaGrassa.
Yeah, I think Reno are trying to show a little more patience now, not trying to hit that final ball too early and forcing it through that OKC defense. And rather move it side to side, let OKC come out of their defensive shape a little bit, and then find some space.
Long possession here for Reno, and ending there, Felipe trying to find Mafeka, but headed away by Guzman. Energy again, they've been able to turn the counter very quick. Look how many white shirts there are. Griffiths able to deflect it out of the box. But this is not an Oklahoma City team that is just going to come in here on the road and sit back and try and defend. They have been very aggressive here in this first half.
Yeah, they definitely have, and they're using their width really well. They're attacking in the wide area as well, and then crossing the ball to their two physical strikers, try and get ahead on it.
Richards trying to work around Highland, but he's able to poke it out of play.
They're also doing a good job of not giving the Reno midfielders any space. They're harassing them. They're staying tight together, and it's tough for Reno to break it down.
Richards on the throw-in, headed by Brown. LaGrassa gets it away on the final of all of that. Morel trying to cross the field, and too much for Richards, and a throw-in now for the Energy. Still no score between Phoenix and Swope Park. That one into the 36th minute. They're 32 minutes down now in San Antonio. Tulsa is still on top 1-0. And if Reno and Tulsa win tonight, you can catch Reno 1868 in their pursuit of the USL Playoff Cup semifinals on October 28th, 1 week from tonight. We'll have a kickoff in that one at 5:15. Get your tickets by visiting Reno1868FC.com. Down the field, Griffiths will get it out of trouble before Gonzalez can get a look at it.
Little miscommunication there between Griffiths and Bersano. Griffiths was trying to leave it for Bersano because he thought he was rushing off his line, then had to clear it out of bounds.
It'll be Highland once again on the throw-in. Big chance creator coming up from a fullback spot, 71 this year. Also leads defenders on this team with 3 assists, so used to be in the mix. Barril. Trying to work around Mafeka. Lindo very tight defensively. Now he shoves him down from behind, and that's going to draw a whistle. It was good defense by Mafeka initially, but then a little bit too aggressive there. I don't think the shove was necessary, and this is certainly going to give the Energy a great chance here in the 27th minute.
Yeah, and wonderful dribbling from Jose Barril to split the Luis Felipe and Lindo Mafeka. Great hold-up play, and he earns the foul there for a great free kick opportunity. Looks like Anthony Wallace will step up to this and try to find the big Polish man, Wojcik.
Wallace, the most experienced player on this team, MLS time with Dallas, Colorado, and the Red Bulls. He was the 9th overall pick, a first-rounder back in 2007. He has been a rock this year for Oklahoma City, leading the team in minutes played. Chance here in the 27th minute with no score. Wallace into the box. Griffiths able to get his head on it and clears it. Oklahoma City, though, still a lot of bodies here and a great pass. Now it's Morel who's able to cut in the line. Opino trying to hold the ball up. Can't do it. Goes off his chest. And a throw-in coming once again. Richard Dixon this time will take it.
Better in the air from Reno's defense there. First Brenton Griffiths and then Jordan Morel did really well winning those headers from great crosses from Anthony Wallace and Richard Dixon there.
Opino waiting for some blue shirts before he throws in. Here's Jimmy Ockford, the captain. Up to Richards. No score, 0-0, minute 29 here tonight in downtown Reno in the quarterfinals of the United Soccer League playoffs. Good ball there from LaGrassa. Brown keeping it alive. Wallace, the steal away. Brown gets it back. Now he's knocked down from behind. There's no whistle, and Guzman able to clear it away.
Yeah, I don't think Brown was expecting the dummy from Mafeka there, because Mafeka does really well to leave the ball for him and peel off, but Brown kind of loses it under his feet. Does well to press to win it back, but then loses it under his feet once again there.
Angulo trying to find Gonzalez on a run too far, though. Bersano gets to it first. Something really developing that last time in front of the net for Reno. Let's see if they can continue to put pressure.
But that's what Reno's going to need, is a moment of brilliance from someone like Lindo Mafeka. Something to unlock the OKC defense, something that they're not expecting, because they look like they're really well drilled defensively.
Definitely well prepared to face this Reno team a third time. Off of Weehan that time. They'll say it touched his hand, so Oklahoma City will have a chance to put it in. Broadcast tonight brought to you by Coors Light. What will we be without our mountains? Without the things that push us further and call us higher. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Greater beer, great responsibility. Alongside Colin Tabor, Alex Margulies here tonight in the biggest little city. 3 versus 6 matchup in the Western Conference of the USL playoffs. Very evenly matched in this first half, both teams with chances. Neither has been able to find the back of the net just yet. Deflected by the Energy. Fernandez tracking it into the corner, and good effort there that time by Fink, trying to slide in, maybe somehow get it off of Felipe, but he's able to jump over it. And now just a simple goal kick for Bersano.
Yeah, Felipe, I think he realized what Kyle Highland's trying to do and earn a corner, so just steps out of the way and lets Highland knock it over the end line himself.
Lindo Mafeka gives some space to Jordan Morel. Into the box, just behind Antoine Opino. Not a bad ball there by Reno, though, but still Cochran able to come up with it. LaGrassa came sliding in, couldn't quite take it away. Here's Barril.
Barril looking dangerous on the ball once again. And here's another foul. This time, Chris Weehan. Looks like the referee's pulling out the yellow card.
Yellow card issued in the 32nd minute to Reno 1868 FC player number 14, Chris Weehan.
So the yellow goes against Weehan. Dixon talking things over with one of our side referees, and Ian Russell as well. With some words for Dixon. Broadcast tonight brought to you by Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. Less than 13 minutes of regulation left here in this first half as Wallace with his left foot will get it all the way to the box. Bersano, the two-handed punch out. Brown loses his footing as Guzman keeps the possession for the Energy. Here's Highland now. Back to Guzman. Barril. Guzman to Highland, makes a good move there. Ricochets off of Richards. And Mafeka gets it for Reno.
Guzman with that great diagonal ball to Highland. Highland's cross, it left a lot to be desired because I think Vucic was ready on that far post, but Reno dealt with it once again. But now OKC are getting more of that possession once again. They're trying to find guys slipping in.
Chance here, deflected by Ockford. Gonzalez puts it back out. Volleyed in by Wallace and headed right into the hands of Matt Bersano.
Vucic with the diving header there from that cross. Does really well to get onto it, but can't generate enough power to beat Matt Bersano with that.
Reno really having a hard time, I think, getting movement in the middle of the field, which is really their bread and butter. What is Oklahoma City doing that is frustrating Reno so much in the midfield?
They're just playing so tight, not allowing any space between the lines. Anyone who's watched Reno knows that they love to play between the lines of the midfield and defense, and Oklahoma's doing a good job of not allowing any of that space. I think Vucic's doing a good job of tracking back and helping Guzman and Baril, and they're just not allowing Chris Weehan, Lindo Mafeka to get into those dangerous areas to turn and face goal and have Openo and Brian Brown take off and drag defenders with them.
It looks like a very different team than we saw back on September the 20th when Reno ran away with a 3-0 decision. This Oklahoma City team a lot more crisp than the team that we saw about a month ago.
Yeah, I think they definitely have prepared thoroughly for this playoff match. I mean, I didn't think they did that well between the lines last month, but now they really identified Chris Weehan and Lindo Mafeka and are doing a good job of neutralizing them.
Here's a run for Brian Brown. Brown gets some space and couldn't quite keep it in front of him, trying to get around Anthony Wallace, who was right there. It was a one-on-one battle. Brown got around him, but a little bit too much in front of him as Cochran was able to beat him to it. Not bad, though.
Yeah, Anthony Wallace does great right there to recover from that little move from Brian Brown. He's able to get his body between the two and allow C.J. Cochran to get it.
Cochran again racing up this time to blast it out of harm's way. Stoppage time now in Phoenix, or in Swope Park, excuse me. Still no score between the Rising and the Rangers. That was the 4-5 matchup coming in. 42nd minute tonight in San Antonio. Tulsa, still a 1-0 advantage on San Antonio. Dangerous ball here, and again, Bersano, boy, he has been locked in this first half. Some dangerous chances for the Energy, and he has been so in tune to what's going on the pitch right now.
Yeah, and Angulo's movement causes a lot of problems for Reno. He checks in, gets in that space between Jimmy Ockford and Matt LaGrosse, and is able to turn and try to clip a ball to Miguel Gonzalez, who made that inside run to become the forward, but takes a bit of a deflection. Matt Bersano's on it right away.
Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget the Sirius XM Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Oklahoma City again turning the field quickly, sending a wave of white shirts into Reno's half. Over to Miguel Gonzalez, Highland to his left. Go back into the middle of the field for Guzman. Over to Highlands. Volleys it. Ockford gets his head on it. Weehan pops it up towards midfield.
Yeah, we see Kyle Highland get up the field for a cross once again. Guzman does a good job there of making the space for him first and then turning back to Highland playing that ball. Highland with another good deep ball, tries to chip it in the path of Vucic, but Jimmy Ockford deals with it really well. He's been immense in the air tonight.
Well, that's an area, I think, from the beginning of the season and all the way through it, an area that Ian Russell felt like his team had an advantage on others. was the aerial play of his back four.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not often to have, say, a right back like Brent Richards, who's so good in the air as well, and Jordan Morel. So that's 4 defenders who are all adept at aerially, and it shows with the way they defend.
Ockford over to Richards. Lindo Mafeka quickly double teams. Back to Richards and then knocked away by Gonzalez. Richards, a University of Washington product. He played forward in college. He's used to being on this half of the field, and as a defender has been potent offensively at times for this Reno club, and he is usually in the mix a lot of the times at generating offense from the outside. Something Ian Russell really likes to do with his team, let those fullbacks come forward in Richards and Morel and let them help generate some offense.
Yeah, and when Brian Brown and Dane Kelly were both out and Ian Russell had a little bit of an injury crisis up front, Brent Richards was the one who stepped forward. He played as the striker. I mean, something he's done in both PDL and collegiately. Did really well.
Openo, quick touch pass for Brown. Tries to go back to Openo. Has to get around 2 defenders now. Looking to get through the legs of Wallace, and he will just poke it off into the corner.
I think what OKC are also doing a really good job of defensively is their wingers are tucking in and not letting any space in the middle. They're allowing Jordan Morel and Brent Richards to get up the field a little bit. They're not too worried about it. They know that the central areas are what's most dangerous for Reno, and they're really trying to not let any space in those central areas.
Richards again. Tries to lob it in there, trying to maybe link up with Brian Brown. Couldn't get on the same page there. Easy save for Cochran. The Battleborn Brigade, they are ready to explode behind the home goal on the west side of the stadium. You can bet they're going to give CJ Cochran an earful when the field flips and he has to stand in front of them for the final 45 minutes.
Yeah, that will be tough for him because Reno are going to want to push more and more for a goal. They don't want this to go to 120 minutes. Well, I think OKC does. Reno want to get goals now. They want to finish this game off. So I think the Battleborn Brigade will really harass CJ Cochran.
Left foot and in for Oklahoma City. The first goal of the night, and it's Vucic.
And Vucic with a fantastic dummy right there. He leaves it for and then makes that run and hits it well done with his left foot into that corner. There's nothing Matt Bersano can do about it. Fantastic goal from OKC Energy there.
Just drills it. His 4th goal of the year, and the 1-0 lead for Oklahoma City here in the 41st minute.
And he's someone who's been a real handful for this Reno defense all day, and that was a fantastic dummy. Great awareness to see that there's someone behind him. Nice little layoff, and he's there to just smash it home.
Well, we'll see how Reno can respond here with a couple minutes to play in this first half as they'll try to equalize now. We'll see how this changes the strategy as well for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I think OKC Energy will try to sit back and frustrate Reno. Not give them the space they want. Be a nuisance defensively, harass the midfielders, and maybe even try and counter again.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Whistle goes against Morel there as Brown is taken down.
Yeah, that's needless from Morel. No point giving away a set piece from this dangerous of an area with the aerial presence that Oklahoma City have. Reno will have to do well to defend this one.
Morel talking with Rivas. It'll be Wallace on the ball, the 28-year-old from Brooklyn.
Something interesting about this Oklahoma City team, their center back, Anthony Wallace, takes all their set pieces. You'd think that he would want to get in the mix, but he has a great left foot there. He puts in a great delivery.
Well, certainly as big as he is as well.
Yeah, you don't see.
Sure, he's great in the air as well.
You don't see center backs taking set pieces a lot, but he takes their corners, he takes their free kicks, everything.
Left foot from Wallace. Dangerous ball. Not cleared away just yet. Richards gets his foot on it. Guzman saves the possession, though. Back there, Bersano just able to get to it as he leaps up and saves another goal here in the first half.
That was difficult technique from Anthony Wallace. That was a fantastic volley from there. Really behind him, he had to swing in an awkward way, but he was able to get contact and put it on frame there.
Here's the throw in from Highlands. Knocked away out of bounds by Felipe. So Oklahoma City, the 6th seed in this Western Conference, 4 consecutive wins, 12 points in their final 4 matches to finish the year. And they have jumped out to a 1-0 road lead here in this quarterfinal opener. Vucic. Able to find the back of the net a couple minutes ago. As Reno will try here in stoppage time to get the equalizer heading into halftime.
Yeah, it looks like OKC are not going to confront past the half line anymore. They're going to sit back, sit deep, make sure that Reno doesn't go into the team tunnel in a little bit more of a positive note with a goal.
Felipe tries a ricochet one for Brown, cleared away. Back to Griffiths. Just 1 minute of stoppage time added, and we're probably halfway through it. Looks like Morel caught his left knee there. He's down on the grass. Rivas will help him up as the final seconds of this first half will tick down. Cochran has been very good here in this first half, up to the challenge of a couple Reno chances. Brian Brown knocked down from behind as the half was coming to a close. Now a whistle blows, and that will most certainly give Reno a chance to continue here. Might even be yellow card worthy. Don't see Rivas reaching for the pocket yet.
Yes, we'll give Reno one last chance to maybe get something headed into halftime.
Weehan being asked to hold up. Here it comes. And the first half whistle has come here tonight at Greater Nevada Fields. And a disappointing first half for the boys in blue as Oklahoma City with a late first half goal. And they will take a 1-0 advantage into the break. Coming up during halftime, News 4's Julian Delgadio with a feature on the season that was for Reno 1868 and a couple awards individually given out this past week by the United Soccer League. We'll come back, show you highlights from the first half, and we'll see if Reno can get the equalizer and try and advance here in their first ever United Soccer League playoffs. Oklahoma City leads 1-0. You're watching USL playoff action on My 21 TV.
What is up, 1868 fans? I'm News 4's Julian Delgadio, and we have finally made it to the playoffs. Looking back at the regular season, coming into it, we didn't have a crest, we didn't have a coach, we didn't have any players, and somehow we have now scored the most goals ever in USL soccer history. And to make things even a little bit sweeter, the USL is now giving out a couple of awards to some special players.
Here comes Dane Kelly. Kelly, right-footed strike, and it's in! Dane Kelly! He's done it again!
Dane, 18 goals, lands you your first ever Golden Boot. How special is this opportunity?
I mean, it's pretty special because I've been putting in the work, and my confidence has grown, and I've been finishing my chances. So it's just pretty great individual achievement, and I appreciate it.
Dane's been excellent all year. He caught an injury late in the season, but he had scored enough to get the Golden Boot. I think with Dane, it's just been his overall play has gotten a lot better too. Just his hold-up play in general, his passing, his defensive duties. He's kind of bought in, and he's scored a lot of goals.
Your technique's proper, and you got Dane Kelly on the right side. Got to wait for the rebound, and Rickles in.
Assist champion in your first year in this league. Did you imagine that coming in?
I guess I didn't really imagine it coming in. I put goals on myself before the season, kind of vague goals. I really didn't know what to expect in the USL. Couldn't really find myself a home, and I just have been so thankful that I've found a spot here in Reno and been able to help my team have the success we've had.
You recruit a guy like Chris Weehan out of New Mexico. He goes undrafted. You pitch him on Reno. He comes here and has really a remarkable season, 12 assists, most in USL soccer history. Can you just talk about what he brings to the table?
Yeah, Chris is a player that we've known for the last couple of years. We had him in San Jose last year for during the summer when he was out of school, and we saw the quality in Chris. Pretty surprised he didn't get drafted, but his combine was not great. He knows that, but it's good. We did our homework. We knew about him. We brought him in. We knew he could do special things here, and he's done really well.
Moving a little bit outside of the pitch, the Battleborn Brigade, you guys have gifted them a home playoff game. How special is it to play in front of the home crowd and give them that opportunity to see?
It's very special. We've been really good at home. Our first goal was to try to make the playoffs, and then we could, as we got deeper in the season, we were like, let's try to finish in the top 4 and try to host a game. And that's a reality, and we expect them to be out in full force. We know they will be. They really drive us on.
It's really special. They've been awesome all year. Even when results weren't coming our way, they were still so encouraging, and they were having such a good time that I think we fed off that. And for them to have a good a home game in the playoffs it's going to be special for us. I know they're excited. I know they're going to be cheering loud. So we're really happy about it.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent, thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
At halftime, welcome to our USL studios. Storylines abound in the USL as the season nears its conclusion. Record-setting attendance, just one of the many focal points that we could talk about. It's what we do talk about here. With Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts, big milestones over the weekend. At Rio Tinto Stadium, over 8,000 witnessed as the regular season championship trophy was hoisted by the Monarchs. It's just part of a larger milestone weekend for the league.
And the big story of the league is the USL crossed the 2 million in total attendance mark and became the first North American Division II league to do so.
But it's not the league that does it. It's individual teams with their fantastic fan bases, new homes. They're setting records too.
And that's led by FC Cincinnati with almost 340,000 fans at Nippert Stadium during their home games this season. Also, Sacramento Republic FC averaged a sellout crowd each home game at Papa Murphy's Park this year. Ottawa Fury FC also saw 6 figures in their season attendance.
In total, it's 2 million through the turnstiles. It's a giant increase league-wide.
An increase of 33% so far, and there's still 1 week to play.
So the story is about expansion, teams rising, teams falling, playoff hopes, some dashed, some just now beginning to find its legs. We're enjoying all the fans that have made it out so far, many more to come. For Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts for the USL Network. Enjoy the second half.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
for Oklahoma City, to me, really impressed with how many times they were able to get quality chances in front of goal.
Yeah, they've been really solid defensively and then counterattacked with a purpose. They've been great so far.
Reno able to advance the ball a couple of times, but mostly it felt like Oklahoma City was the one offensively, and I found that to be kind of a surprise to me. I really felt like Oklahoma City was going to come into this match and sit back, play defensively. That just has not been the case. They have been much more aggressive than I ever anticipated, and there was that goal before the end of the half as Vucic, strong left foot, and all Bersano could do is stand and watch.
Yeah, Vucic is really aware. He knows Miguel Gonzalez is behind him, leaves it for him, peels off, makes a great run. Gonzalez finds the layoff, and Vucic just powers it into the corner.
Fourth goal of the season for the 25-year-old who comes from Poland. Had professional experience in Finland. He also played in the NASL before coming to Oklahoma City last year. And not only did he put some pressure on Reno early and had some good chances, he was able to find the finish in the end of the first half. But still plenty of soccer left to go. We'll see if Reno can rally. And for this team, you wonder if Dane Kelly will come off the bench. We have not seen him actually since the last time these two teams played in a full match. So we'll see if Kelly will be available for Ian Russell. And if he is, you wonder if he can come in and make an immediate impact.
Yeah, I think he's going to look to bring in Dane Kelly sooner rather than later to make that impact. I think Brian Brown and Antoine Openo aren't quite clicking together right now. It could come in the second half. It's important to remember there's 45 minutes left, and they'll be attacking the Battleborn Brigade left. So, I mean, anything could happen in the second half.
Based on the way that Oklahoma City has approached this game, who do you look at on Reno's bench, aside from Kelly, who do you look at that maybe would have a more favorable impact for 1868 in this second half?
I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Seth Kasipli come in. I think he will do a good job with the way OKC are limiting the space in the midfield or just playing it quicker. He's a real technical player, great passer, and he always looks to play quickly and get the attack involved quickly. Another player we might see is Darwin Espinal. I think Darwin's threat from long range could be a useful asset for Reno with how far back OKC are starting to sit back. But I definitely think we'll see Dane Kelly in the second half.
For Oklahoma City with a 1-0 lead, how do you think Jimmy Nielsen approaches, at least just kind of fundamentally and formationally, how do you expect them to adjust now playing to hold a 1-0 lead?
I think more of the same. I think they're doing a good job of restricting space in the midfield. I think they do well to keep doing that. Try to counterattack quickly down the flanks and get crosses into those two strikers, Vucic and Angulo.
In the other scores across the United Soccer League, they are still at halftime between Phoenix and Swope Park. That was a 0-0 contest after the first 45. And tonight in San Antonio, 2-seeded San Antonio trailing still 1-0 to Tulsa. Alex Gee was able to score early in the first half, and the Roughnecks have been able to hold on. The winner of this match and the winner of that San Antonio-Tulsa match will meet 1 week from tonight. Should Reno rally to come back, and if Tulsa can finish off San Antonio, that next round will be played right here at Greater Nevada Field. But obviously a lot of work for Reno 1868 to do if they want to try and make that happen. And at least at the outset, it looks like Ian Russell is going to stick with his starting 11 here to begin the second half. So no Dane Kelly just yet, but it would be surprising not to see Kelly at some point. And in fact, you can't see it on screen right now, but Kelly hanging out right behind where players would enter. So he may come in very quickly in the second half. Eric Bucheri, assistant coach, coming in for a couple final words here as the boys in blue come together, and the Energy trying to finish off an upset. This is a team that had to fight their way into the postseason. It took 4 consecutive wins and 12 points down the stretch to finish in 6th place, and they are hoping to see their season continue here tonight in downtown Reno.
It looks like it's going to be an early night for Antoine Opino. Dane Kelly will actually be coming in the start of the second half.
So, we really haven't seen this combination very much this year from Ian Russell. We'll see Dane Kelly and Brian Brown, the two Jamaicans, will combine at the top together, and we'll see if the man who is the all-time leading scorer in this circuit, he won the Golden Boot this year, can he make an impact off the bench, seeing his first action in about a month.
He'll be hungry for goals out here. He wants to change the tide of this game. He wants to prove why he's the top scorer in this league, and he'll be coming out guns a-blazing the second half.
Reno certainly thrilled to have made the postseason, thrilled to host in the postseason in their inaugural season, but they do not want this journey to end here tonight. And 45 minutes now into the second half, we'll see if they can find a way to rally and beat Oklahoma City. Field will flip, so Reno now will advance going towards the west side of the stadium, which is where the Battle-Born Brigade resides. And again, I guarantee you they will be giving C.J. Cochran an earful for the rest of this match.
Yeah, they're not going to want to see this season end early. A group that's given so much support to this club, they're going to want to ride it all the way to the end. They want a championship here in Reno tonight. Now it's up to the boys out there to try and make that happen against a very good Oklahoma City team that has played great so far in this game.
Here's Lindo Mafeka, able to get around Vucci. Headed back towards midfield. Here's Bretton Griffiths. See him there in those highlighter yellow cleats. Quick touch pass. Mafeka, left foot. Oh, can't quite get it. Lindo Mafeka trying to go to the upper left-hand corner. With some great ball movement, setting that up, and he just barely misses the early equalizer.
That's what I would like to see more of Reno in the second half. Great ball movement. Chris Weehan, Brian Brown, Lindo Mafeka all combining really well there. Mafeka hits a great shot that goes just wide there, but much better attacking from Reno.
Mafeka, the hat trick the last time these two teams met back on September the 23rd. That was a 3-0 win for Reno. These two teams also met back in early August in Oklahoma City in a game that was marred by controversy. Reno would fall in that match 1-0, but they would play down a man for the final 60 minutes as they were cited for a red card that would eventually be rescinded. Didn't help them in the standings, but certainly helped them from attempting a comeback in that one as they had to play with 10.
Yeah, that was a tough game for Reno. Oklahoma defended really well in that game as well. Reno just couldn't break them down, but we saw September 23rd. Reno did a great job through Lindo Mafeka of getting goals. The hat trick he scored against this team when they were last here.
You can see Dane Kelly and Brian Brown at the top of the screen there, moving towards goal. Mafeka couldn't quite control it in the midfield, and a collision there between Guzman and LaGraza. Guzman slow to get up, a whistle blown, but no card. Fans Greater Nevada Fields, the official home of Reno 1868, and Greater Nevada Credit Union, the title sponsor of this beautiful two-sport facility. Some movement from Oklahoma City. LaGraza getting tied up. No whistle blown. They'll let play continue. Gonzalez has it. Cleared by Griffiths. Not out of harm's way just yet. Brown spins around. Highland has it. He'll put his left foot into it, and too strong as that one will end up back behind in the bullpen area here at the ballpark.
Yeah, I think an uncharacteristic couple minutes there for Matt LaGraza, between a couple fouls that he normally would win and then a bad giveaway there. He's such a consistent player. You allow him to make a couple mistakes and nothing came of it, but he'll want to do better.
Bersano gets it to midfield. Here's Brown, forward to Kelly. Kelly working around Wallace. Kelly centers it, crossed, and just wide of the net. They threw off the lights. The fans are cheering, thinking it was an equalizer, but that one would go just to the right, and watch how close this was.
Oh, Dane Kelly does so well to skip past Anthony Wallace, and he sees the trailing run from Chris Weehan. Weehan gets a brilliant volley on it, side foots it, but just into the side netting there. Unfortunate for Reno, but already much better thanks to Dane Kelly.
Boy, Chris Weehan would love to have that one back.
He would. It was a little bit of a difficult one. I don't think he was expecting it to pop up like it did, and it came in with some real pace, but he does really well to get a solid shot on it.
Well, and Dane Kelly, as you mentioned, immediate impact now here in this second half. A phenomenal job to set up that opportunity.
Yeah, he's looking sharp after returning from injury. Just puts it past Anthony Wallace and puts a great delivery in for Weehan. Is aware of the run, doesn't just try to put it across and hope for the best.
Ockford able to get that one out of harm's way, gets it forward to Kelly. Kelly gets around Guzman, now met from pressure from behind. Or excuse me, that's Brown. The whistle for Reno to keep possession as Morrell wants the ball. And just not a very well played out situation there for Morrell as he was trying to find Felipe, but Guzman will just crash in and steal it in the midfield. Now LaGrassa up to Felipe.
Well done from LaGrassa to find Felipe in some space to turn. I'm glad Felipe is looking for that space between the lines now. I think he struggled in that first half, but he's already looking sharper here, and great movement to find that space, but just couldn't find Kelly's run.
You're seeing a little bit more action for Reno in the middle of the field so far here in the second half. They weren't really getting that kind of ball movement and spacing in the first half.
No, I think they're playing with more urgency in the midfield, trying to play it quicker, trying to find those little combinations that they're so good at, and it's paying dividends so far.
Felipe gets it away from Oklahoma City. Here's Morrell now, crossing the field. Gets it to Dane Kelly, being guarded by Highland. Kelly trying to volley it, deflected by Highland. Now he comes behind Gonzalez, who's able to keep it. And a whistle goes against Reno as Oklahoma City will have a chance to tee it up.
Yeah, we hear some boos from the crowd, but I actually think that was the right call. They come in late to Miguel Gonzalez there. Ref tries to wave advantage, but no advantage came from it, so he came back to the prior foul. Well done from the referee there.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Here's Wallace, the experienced MLS player. Drives it into the box, headed away by Felipe. Energy will keep the possession as it goes back to Fink. Again to Wallace. Drives one into the box, right corner, and unable to put it in. Dixon goes off the side of the net, and a goal kick now coming up.
Dangerous ball there from Anthony Wallace to find the late run of Richard Dixon. Actually, it looks like Dixon tried to play it back into play, and it took a deflection off a Reno player, so we'll have a corner kick here.
Update from San Antonio. They have been able to find the equalizer. It is now 1-1 between San Antonio and Tulsa in the 62nd minute. Here's Wallace, as you mentioned. He's a center back, but he will take the corners. Left foot. Goes back corner. Griffiths heads it all the way down into the opposite corner. And again, corner kick.
Looks like it's a throw-in. The referee's motioning towards a throw-in, so Kyle Highland will make the long trip from when he was defending a counterattack for a corner. And now he'll throw this in by the corner flag.
Touch pass, gets it back to Highlands. Being grabbed by Richards, able to keep it in. Headed out of trouble by Morrell. Here comes Reno the other way. Brian Brown. Deflected to Kelly. Kelly crosses the field. Morrell's got some space. Centers it. And Mafeka just can't quite find an opportunity there. Couldn't keep his footing. But Reno really quickly able to set up a counterattack there.
Really well done from Guzman to handle that from Lindo Mafeka. I like Jordan Morrell's run. I think he hasn't been getting up the field as much as Ian Russell would have liked, so I think he talked to him at halftime and told him, get those runs in, stretch them a little because they've been able to defend so centrally. So Morrell making those long runs and being able to play a diagonal ball into him is allowing OKC's defense to open up a little bit.
Felipe over to Weehan. Again, Kelly will send it back to Felipe. Now Richards going into the box. Weehan keeps it alive. Deflected towards the corner, but out of play, and a goal kick coming up now for CJ Cochran.
Yeah, OKC is just not giving Reno any space to shoot. Chris Weehan on the top of the box looks up. He's got 4 players charging down on him. Really, they're defending so compact, not just deep, but really centrally too.
Cesar Elizondo with a goal in the 61st minute for San Antonio as they have knotted the score against Tulsa. The Roughnecks took a 1-0 advantage as Paris Guy found net in the 23rd minute. The winner of that match will play the winner of this one between Reno and Oklahoma City. Here's Richard Dixon trying to time something up there. Griffiths rather, able to step up. Guzman keeps it away from Brown. Now some pressure from Kelly. Vucic hoping to time one up there with Gonzalez, but too far forward. And here's Persano to flip the field. Trying to find some magic here in the second half. Here's Kelly. Kelly puts a right foot into it, deflected away. Now Weehan. And Reno will have their first corner of the night.
Oh, and that was an excellent shot from Dane Kelly. I think CJ Cochran starts to cheat a little bit. He's thinking that Dane's going to cross it into Brian Brown, but he tries to curl it into that far post, and Cochran makes an excellent save there.
Chris Weehan set a new USL record with 12 assists this year. Rookie season coming out of New Mexico. Drives it with his right foot, tries to go towards the back of the box. LaGrassa's there. LaGrassa drives it in. Weehan gets the rebound. Headed out of trouble by Oklahoma City. Back to Felipe. Headed and wide of goal. Jimmy Ockford, who's got 4 goals this year, tried to redirect it into the right corner, and he just barely missed.
Yeah, and that's a tough header from that angle. Bretton Griffiths really wanted Jimmy Ockford to drop it into his path. You can see him begging for that ball, but Jimmy Ockford goes for goal and is real close there.
So Reno 3 or 4 close moments here in the second half, but still a 1-0 lead for Oklahoma City.
So much better in the second half from Reno. They've really come in with a sense of urgency and tried to get that equalizer out here against an Oklahoma City team that's dropping back deeper and deeper and deeper.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. It'll be a throw-in for Kyle Highlands on the far left side of the field. Gets it into Vucic. Highland trying to drop it off for Barril, and knocked away by Matt LaGrassa.
I've been impressed with Baril and Guzman today. I think they've both shown to be really technically proficient midfielders. Baril with his dribbling and Guzman with his passing. I think it's hard for the two center mids to play in a flat 4-4-2, but they're doing a good job.
Buchik able to keep the possession alive for the Energy after they had some bodies in front of net. They'll regroup, try and go to the corner. They'll find Highland. Intercepted by Richards and then cleared away.
Great touch inside with his chest from Kyle Highland there.
Baril makes a run. Gets around a defender, left foot, knocked away by Bersano.
Great response from Jimmy Ockford to get that ball out of here. Now we have a Reno 1868 counterattack.
Here's Brian Brown. Felipe, a diving stop from CJ Cochran.
Oh, we can see what Brian Brown's trying to do. He's trying to make the space to find Dane Kelly, who's all alone on the far post. The entire Oklahoma defense gets sucked into Brian Brown, but he just can't quite get it off. But Luis Felipe gets a great shot there.
So Weehan last time from the opposite corner did kind of a low line drive to the corner of the box. We'll see what the idea is here. Weehan, far corner. Knocked out of harm's way. LaGrassa keeps the possession for 1868. Griffiths taken down the box, and they will not blow the whistle.
Oh, and you can hear the crowd. They're furious with the referee. They felt Brenton Griffiths was taken out from behind, but Reno still are relenting for an attack.
Wow, very close for a penalty kick here in the second half, but Reno is denied. But as you mentioned, this is a very different looking Reno offense here in the second 45.
Yeah, and it's not just the introduction of Dane Kelly, which certainly has added a spark, but the whole team seems to have more desire, and they want to get that goal. They want to get forward more. They want to play quicker. And this Oklahoma City defense that was real confident in the first half, starting to look a little shakier, a little more nervous.
The throw in from Brent Richards goes to Lindo Mafeka. Here's Matt LaGrassa now. And we'll see who was last touched by. They're going to say it was last touched by Oklahoma City. And again, a corner kick for Chris Weehan, his third over the last couple of minutes. Give Chris Weehan this many chances on a corner kick, and he is going to find the net eventually.
There's a reason he's the assist leader in USL, and that's because of his deliveries, both in play and set pieces.
Weehan drives it in, punched out by Cochran. LaGrassa tries to get it in, but a whistle blown. And they are going to let things clear out, and they're going to give CJ Cochran a chance to recollect and set up a goal kick.
Yeah, I think the referee, who's in plain view with Dane Kelly, might have saw an arm reach out, so it looks like it's a handball off Dane Kelly. And Oklahoma will allow a little pressure to be relieved. I think Cochran will take his time with this free kick, get his team forward, and really just take a moment to breathe, because it's been a tough 5 or 6 minutes for him. Really, it's a whole tough second half for this Oklahoma defense.
Good kick from goal gives them a chance to put a possession together. Stepped up, stolen away by Griffiths. Here's Brown. Gets around a defender. Got 4 white shirts to get past and won't be able to do it. Now Baril able to run down the sideline, being chased down by LaGrassa.
Yeah, I think Brian Brown just tries to do it all himself right there. I think he just needs to go back to his roots of holding up the ball, letting the midfield push forward, and then finding a quick combination to maybe find Dane Kelly through. I mean, it's tough to run through this many defenders on your own.
Here's Jordan Morrell. Trying to find Kelly, and it's kicked away by Dixon. Dixon and Kelly both from Jamaica. Richard from Hanover. Kelly from St. Catherine Parish. Imagine those two are very familiar with one another. They will go head-to-head here in the second half tonight. Richards gets around a man, takes a shot at the corner, and Cochran will watch that one hit the net. And another goal kick coming up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Richards mishit that or he was trying to sneak into that near post because he thought Cochran was judging it to be a cross, but either way, goes out for a goal kick.
Cochran drives it with his right foot. Ockford with the header, finds Brown, gets some space for Dane Kelly. Kelly into the box. Trying to take a shot at it and cannot connect. And you can see the frustration from Kelly, how badly he wants to find that equalizer.
Yeah, he really does. And it's the second or third time now he's been isolated 1v1 against Anthony Wallace and gotten the better of him. He looks really sharp here tonight.
Burrell waits for Cochran's kick, keeps it away from Gonzalez. Here's Luis Felipe.
Something we haven't mentioned is there's a little bit of a tactical switch with Luis Felipe and Chris Weehan switching sides on either side of this diamond.
Gonzalez trying to march through 4 blue shirts. Now he'll hold play up. Angulo's there in the middle. He's their leading scorer. Can't get it to him as Griffith's able to clear. But right to the energy as Barril finds Highlands. Brown out of trouble. Not just yet though, Dixon. That one's not going anywhere, and here's Chris Weehan.
I think moving Luis Felipe to the left just allows him a little more just comfort on the ball since he is left-footed. It allows him to drive the ball naturally forward rather than have to cut inside every single time, which is giving him a little more freedom to play, I think.
Fans, the USL postseason continues a week from tonight. If Reno and Tulsa can both win, Reno will play host in the USL semifinals a week from tonight at Greater Nevada Field. Kickoff in that one would be at 5:15. Get your tickets now, Reno1868FC.com. Plenty of time for Reno to rally. We're in the 67th minute. The only goal of the night came at the end of the first half from Oklahoma City, as Vucic was able to score in the 41st minute. Reno will make a substitution here. Seth Kasipli will come in for Luis Felipe Fernandez. Kasipli, 27 appearances this year. He does have 4 goals and 3 assists. Throw-in goes into the box. Too far for Griffiths. Weehan giving chase. They'll get it to Gonzalez. Back to Jimmy Ockford.
Yeah, I think Seth Kasipli is someone who's a little bit more attacking than Luis Felipe. He'll try to get involved in the attacking third a little more. Maybe not quite as defensively solid as Luis Felipe, but great passer to the ball like I've spoken about.
Kasipli from Rockland, California, nearby Sacramento area. About 2 hours from here. Lindo Mafeka holds on to the ball. Finds Weehan. That ball deflected and out of play. Last touch by Reno, though, and a goal kick once again for C.J. Cochran. Coors Light reminds you to celebrate every climb safely. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Alongside Colin Tabor, Alex Margulies here tonight in downtown Reno. First match of the USL playoffs. 1868 hoping to continue their remarkable inaugural season, which saw this team rise from dead last in this conference after 5 matches to an opportunity a couple weeks ago to potentially win this conference. They would fall, though, to Real Monarchs. This Reno team would finish in 3rd against this Oklahoma City club that would finish in 6th place after winning their final 4 matches of the year. And they were routs: 3-1 over Seattle, a 4-1 win over fellow playoff team Swope Park, dominant wins as well over the Galaxy and Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, since they've come to...
Mafeka deflected off of Dixon, and another corner kick for Reno.
Since OKC has come to Reno, they've had 4 wins in a row with 13 goals for. Their attack has really taken it up a notch.
Second time for Weehan in the right corner. Kelly with his head, but Cochran able to leap up and grab it.
Yeah, that's tough for Kelly to generate any kind of power on that. Just tries to chip it over Cochran really with his head. Cochran's aware of the situation, does well once again.
Throw it into Vucic. Able to get away from Griffiths. Guzman now. Back to Vucic. Bad pass there, taken away by Griffiths. Nice opening there, finds Kelly. To Brian Brown, and Brown will pummel that one well back into the stands.
And the 3 Jamaicans combining really well there. Brenton Griffiths looks up and plays a great ball into Dane Kelly. Dane Kelly can turn, finds Brian Brown, but Brian Brown on his weaker right foot just blasts it over.
And Brown, who has been battling some injury troubles of his own, looks like he is banged up there. Maybe dealing with a cramp in his right leg. Seems like my best indication, just the way he was kind of reacting to that. We'll get a stretch here as the clock continues to tick, and now into minute number 72.
Yeah, if Brian Brown needs to be subbed off, just want to remember there's no Mac Pridham in the 18, which means the possibility of Brent Richards coming back up top, but it looks like Brian Brown's okay. You have to jog off for a little bit before he comes back in.
Fans Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields, as we have another substitution coming now on the Oklahoma City side. Gonzalez will go out, and in Daniel Gonzalez. It's actually his younger brother, so the two will trade places as we tick down the final 18 minutes of regulation. The clock ticking down on Reno. Still a lot of time, but certainly need to start being wary of that clock here in the second half as they try to find an equalizer.
Yeah, it's been a magical regular season for Reno 1868, and they don't want the magic to end quite yet. They want to continue on, and it comes here tonight with 18 minutes of regular time left. Try to pull an equalizer, try to force it into extra time, maybe even grab a winner before then. First, they need the 1 goal against a really stubborn OKC defense that just won't give it to them.
Mafeka, who had that hat trick last time, has not been effective in this one. Really been able to suck out his space. Dane Kelly coming on in the second half after sitting out the last 3 matches. Has been able to find some chances, but Reno looking for that spark here. Deflected out of bounds. Weehan thought about rushing it. Decides to go backwards instead to Richards. Over to Griffiths. Kasipli gets away from a double team.
Yeah, Reno playing the ball really quickly, trying to offset this defense. They want to move that ball around quicker than the defense can set. And oh, it's a great ball in for Jordan Morrell.
Morrell trying to center it for Brian Brown. Cochran got to it first, but again, good idea there. LaGrassa with a great ball into Jordan Morrell, who kind of slipped and fell as he was putting his left foot into it.
There's a great ball in from Matt LaGrassa. On the blind side of Richard Dixon was Jordan Morrell's run. Jordan Morrell doesn't quite have sure footing when he puts that across. Tries to find Brian Brown on the near post, but Cochran scoops it up.
Here's Morrell again. Griffiths, the cross. Richards wasn't quite able to keep it in.
Brent Richards will be disappointed in himself there. That's an easy ball to control, just lets it go under his foot there. Really slow the momentum down for Reno with seconds ticking.
It'll be Kyle Highland on the throw-in. Whistle comes, though, from Victor Rivas, and he's going to give Reno the possession here. So an off-ball penalty, some sort, and a throw-in now for 1868 as they'll get it in to Richards. Well, maybe not.
I think there's some movement on the benches. Nick von Niederhausen starting to get ready. It'll be an interesting substitution. Nick von Niederhausen, normally a right back. Maybe it means Brent Richards pushes forward too.
Kasipli unable to keep it in play, stolen away.
Maybe it also means that Brian Brown is struggling with the calf problem. Or it means three forwards. We'll find out shortly.
Kelly trying to link up with Mafeka. Here's Baril now going through the Reno defense. Good steal there by LaGrassa to Mafeka. And again, in the middle of the field, Oklahoma City has done a phenomenal job at just collapsing down those lanes for Reno's offensive attack.
Yeah, they know how much Reno like to attack in the central areas, and they're not letting it happen tonight.
Simply the quick throw in for Morrell. Over to Richards. Over to find Kelly, and too much there as Cochran will have plenty of time to drain down some of this clock and then set up a goal kick. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. So the Energy will take out their leading scorer, Jose Angulo, and will put in another defensive-minded player in Andy Craven. Has 5 goals, but I think you have to look at that as more of a defensive move if you're going to take out your top scorer.
Yeah, I think Andy Craven will do more of the defensive work than Angulo. He'll track down the center backs, make sure they don't have a lot of time on the ball. Angulo, who had a fantastic first half, I think he slowed down in the second half. And I don't know if it's a fitness issue or he's just out maybe carrying something, but looks like Craven will come in to finish this game off.
Richards again, too much on that one, trying to find Morrell.
If this game theoretically does go to penalties, though, Jose Angulo is their main penalty kick taker.
Earlier tonight, Reno would have not wanted that situation. They would have avoided PKs like the plague, as any team would, but right now, they would love to go to PKs. They would love to get an equalizer and go to overtime, where they would play another 30 minutes and trying to come away with a win here tonight. It has been a tough night, though, against this Oklahoma City team. Good job there by Griffiths breaking up a run. Mafeka gets it to Weehan. Kasipli touches off for Kelly, and it's knocked away.
I think Dane Kelly's finding himself in wide areas a little too much. He's done a good job trying to provide, but you want the top scorer in USL in front of the goal. I think Chris Weehan needs to push up a little bit more, almost become a right winger, and let Brown and Kelly into the box where they're most dangerous.
Kasipli lobs it into the box, headed away by Wallace. LaGrassa keeps it in Reno's possession as Brown sends it backwards for Morel. LaGrassa again keeping it for Reno.
Yeah, LaGrassa does so well keeping possession in the opposition half. Even when they lose it, he's always there to intercept the ball and keep the pressure on.
Final 10 minutes of regulation here tonight in Reno. And slipping and falling is Ockford, leaving Craven. And coming up from behind, Morel saves the day.
That was huge from Jordan Morel. Jimmy Ockford loses his footing there, and Andy Craven looks like he's through on goal all by himself. Feels like he has too much time. Doesn't see Jordan Morel come in, and a great tackle from behind there.
Weehan grabbed from behind. The whistle didn't come at first. Now it does. And Reno now taking possession here for the final 10 minutes. Trying to get it up to Brown. Brown gets it away but can't keep it in bounds. Now a throw-in coming for the Energy. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. Energy, one more substitution, Chad Bond, 30-year-old from Wales, has the intention of checking in, and he's going to take over for Jose Barril. Our substitutions tonight brought to you by the Les Schwab Tire Center.
Yeah, Jose Barril has had a fantastic game today. He's really done such a good job at taking on the Reno midfielders, drawing in pressure, and then finding it out wide. Chad Bond, his replacement, I think is a little more defensive-minded than Barril. It looks like Jimmy Nielsen's trying to set up shop in these final minutes. It'll be a tense final minutes for Reno, who'll really start to push forward more than ever.
Well, Oklahoma City's got about 10 more minutes to hold. I'm assuming you'd have to think at least 2 minutes of stoppage at this point, if not more.
Oh, it will be around 4, I believe.
Brown able to get around the defender, trying to center it, and he will earn Reno a corner kick as it's deflected off of Sam Fink.
What you're going to see in every single restart is OKC's going to take their time with it, and the ref will be aware of that time, and he'll add it.
Crowd on their feet, fans waving the flags as Kasipli goes down to the right corner. Reno trying to find the equalizer. Mafeka. Back to Kasipli. Volleys it in. Punched away by Cochran. Mafeka again. And cleared away this time by the Energy. Bersano drives it right back towards the box. Chance for Brian Brown. And Brown trying to tee that one up and go into the upper right-hand corner. Couldn't control it. As the intensity continues here in this second half for Reno to try and find their first goal of the night.
Yeah, Oklahoma City deals with another barrage after a corner kick as Reno are really throwing everything but the kitchen sink out here in these final minutes. Cochran will take his time with this goal kick, that's for sure.
Reno with another substitution. Nick von Niederhausen has checked in for Brent Richards.
I think Ian Russell's rationale is bring on Nick von Niederhausen for his deliveries from crosses, whether it be on the end line or deep. He has a fantastic right foot. He really knows how to find the head of guys like Brian Brown and Dane Kelly. So he's going to try, and maybe he doesn't quite get forward as much as Brent Richards, but he's got a great cross on him.
Vucic again able to get it away from Reno defenders. A little touch pass from Highlands. And Bersano will come up and grab it himself. They've gone to stoppage time in San Antonio, a 1-1 score. Tulsa had the early lead. San Antonio, the second half equalizer. They've added 2 minutes of stoppage. LaGrassa finds Morrell in the corner. Centers it, trying to get it to Kelly, and all sorts of traffic, can't find a way to center that.
Brown's touch looks like it's goal bound, but it hits off the face of Dane Kelly. Real unfortunate there from Reno.
Well, fans very upset now as Fink is down by goal, holding his left knee and slow to get up. And the first thing that comes to mind, I think, with a lot of fans, is this an attempt to milk the clock?
I mean, I hate to be wrong in case Sam Fink is seriously injured, but I mean, it looks like they're going to take their time letting Sam Fink get up, kill the clock in these final precious seconds, and Reno are not happy about it, especially because they were on the counter. You're not supposed to stop play unless it's a head injury, and Sam Fink's holding his knee. Reno can choose to knock the ball out, but really, Reno will be really disappointed since they were on the break and Brian Brown had space to turn and was going towards goal.
Reno will make another substitution. Junior Burgos is going to come in as well, and Burgos, another guy that is good with crosses. He's good from the corners. So more players that certainly can help Reno's offensive attack here in these final minutes. We've got about 4 minutes of regulation. After that, I'm 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage, probably.
Yeah, probably. And it looks like the earlier Nick von Niederhausen sub did not happen. It looks like Ian Russell changed his mind and went for a more attacking substitution, bringing on Junior Burgos. So they'll play 3 in the back in these final minutes, really push everything forward that they can to force this into extra time.
There's Burgos, who just checked in, the El Salvadorian national. He's tripped up by Vucink, keeps it alive, then stolen away by Guzman. Craven trying to get around Mafeka, back to Guzman, and cleared away on the other side.
Oh, and another great tackle there from Jordan Morrell, and he could spring the counterattack for Brian Brown.
Brown, saved by Cochran. Another diving stop by C.J. Cochran in the final moments.
Oh, and that was a great counterattack initiated by Jordan Morrell. Brian Brown cuts inside, tries the wrong foot C.J. Cochran, sees him going towards his left, puts it to the right of the goalkeeper, but Cochran's reactions are fantastic there to make the save. That was huge from the goalkeeper.
What a great ball by Jordan Morrell. The slide and then the pass down the field was phenomenal.
That was huge from Jordan Morrell, and that was the second really big tackle he's made in this second half.
He saved a goal perhaps a few minutes ago, sliding from behind to take away a chance from Andy Craven. Another big stop there, and Reno is going to need somebody to come away with a heroic moment here in the final minutes. Who's it going to be? LaGrassa over to Jordan Morrell. A dream inaugural season here in downtown Reno. 75 goals to set a new USL record. Can they get one here in the final minutes to tie this match against Oklahoma City in the first round of the USL playoffs?
75 goals in regular season doesn't mean a thing in playoffs. I'm sure they would have traded any of those 9 goals against the Galaxy for a goal here tonight.
Popped up by Kelly, centered, headed, and Cochran again, able to grab it. As he has been harassed several times here in the last couple of minutes. LaGrassa to Brown, just could not get enough steam on it.
Yeah, and he tries to just direct it into that corner. Easy save in the end for Cochran.
Coors Light reminds you that every climb deserves a refreshing finish, and every night deserves a safe ending. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Greater beer, great responsibility. Guzman able to keep it away from Casipli and Burgos. Down the field now for Gonzalez.
Gonzalez will just try to hold us in the corner for as long as he can. Try to kill the seconds off the clock, and Ho does well to earn a corner there. Looks like Gonzalez is going to take his time taking this corner.
Or excuse me, Jonathan Brown there in the corner.
Oh, Jonathan Brown, yes, excuse me. It looks like referee will have to add at least 5 minutes after this time wasting.
Well, scurry over there and a whistle blown against Oklahoma City. So Reno taking the possession back as we tick down to the final seconds here in regulation. And check this out. During stoppage time, San Antonio with a game winner against Tulsa as they have come away and advanced with a 2-1 victory.
Unbelievable, and I'm sure there's scenes in San Antonio after a goal that late on, and Reno will be hoping for similar scenes right here, pushing for this equalizer. Now almost into stoppage time.
Morrell with the head trying to find something for Brown, but Cochran again, who has been phenomenal, able to pounce on it. So it's only 3 minutes of stoppage time as Reno tries to pull off a miracle. LaGrassa. Mafeka keeps it alive. Kelly gets inside the box and then a whistle is blown. A man down, but how do you not let play continue there?
It's tough with Dane Kelly, his back to goal, doesn't have a lot of support. I mean, a free kick for Chris Wehan and Junior Burgos in this position might even be more advantageous. I mean, it will really set the storyline if whoever takes this free kick buries it. It'll be a huge moment for this club.
So it appears Reno will earn a free kick from just outside the box here in stoppage time. A yellow card given against Oklahoma City. And Burgos certainly a guy that can deliver in this spot.
Yeah, Chris Wehan had one from a similar position against Sac Republic, but Junior Burgos is so good at free kicks. It's really what he's known for, and he'll be wanting this one tonight.
It's Burgos and Wehan standing over the ball. We'll see who's going to take it. Burgos is directing the traffic. Reno trying to find the equalizer here in stoppage time. Burgos drives it, knocked away by Cochran again. But a corner kick again coming for Reno 1868.
Oh, and Matt Persano's joining the box. They're throwing everyone forward for this corner kick.
Reno going all in the final seconds. Burgos headed wide. And we'll see if Reno gets one more chance at it. 3 minutes only of stoppage time added. Obviously more time after the delay for Lindo Mafeka being taken down. It was a good ball there from Burgos, and Griffiths just could not redirect it.
Griffiths does so well to rise above everyone else, but it's still just a little too high, and he puts it over.
Brian Brown on the ball. Over to Ockford. Brown again. Back to Burgos. Into the box. Not that time for Dane Kelly.
Great delivery from Junior Burgos, and he'll run to take this corner. This looks like the last chance for Reno to grab something. They're going to throw everyone forward, throw caution to the wind here. This is their last moment to save themselves in playoffs.
Burgos. Headed high. And will Reno get another corner? It looks like they may. Kasipli's racing down to the left side. Can Reno find magic here in the final seconds? This may very well be it here tonight. Reno trying to equalize. Kasipli. And Cochran is able to pull it down. A remarkable performance tonight from C.J. Cochran, and that may very well do it.
That was huge from C.J. Cochran. Rises above everyone else in traffic, catches that ball and sends it out. But Matt Bersano sends it right back.
There goes the final whistle, and Oklahoma City has pulled off the upset. They have come into Greater Nevada Field where only 2 teams have won all season long. And it's the Energy who will come away with a 1-0 victory. And the scene right there of Matt Bersano says it all. A shocking defeat as Reno's dream inaugural season will come to a close. And on the other side of the field, some ugly scenes developing as fans have started to throw bottles from the stands and may have even struck an Oklahoma City player.
Yeah, it looked like it struck one of the Oklahoma City players in the face. OKC is not happy about that. They're letting the Battleborn Brigade behind them know. And ugly scenes here. Their disappointing loss for Reno 1868.
Well, it's certainly not how you want people to see this community, this franchise, and this fan base by something like that. And an unfortunate way for this one to end as Reno cannot get one past C.J. Cochran, and making only his 8th start of the year. The Alpharetta, Georgia native played incredible for this team, especially down the stretch in the second half where it seemed like wave after wave of 1868 attack was coming at him, and he was up to every single challenge.
Yeah, Reno really threw everything there at the end, but it wasn't enough, and Oklahoma City held firm to the very end thanks to C.J. Cochran.
So a 1-0 final. The first half goal from Vucic will hold up here tonight, and it's Oklahoma City moving on to play number 2 San Antonio after they were able to defeat Tulsa. We'll take a break, come back, show you the highlights from this one. The Energy, they've won 5 in a row now as they topped Reno 1868 1-0. So Reno's remarkable inaugural season in the United Soccer League will come to a bitter end here tonight in the quarterfinals of the United Soccer League playoffs as they were bested here tonight by the Oklahoma City Energy, a team that a month ago could not contain Lindo Mafeka as he would end up with a hat trick and a 3-0 win. But tonight they come away with a 1-0 victory as Ian Russell and many of the players send off the fans. I know it is tough for these players to stomach. A lot of the fans, I think, also in disbelief to see their team shut out here in their home building. But you have to look back at what was accomplished by this team in an inaugural season, especially the way it started, Colin. I mean, you're talking about a club after 5 matches that found themselves in the absolute basement of the Western Conference, dead last out of 16 teams, and they would put on some displays this year in this inaugural season. 75 goals, setting a new United Soccer League record, and a lot of memories, I think, that will linger with both players and fans for a lifetime.
Yeah, what an inaugural season this has been for Reno 1868. Obviously, it did not end the way they would have hoped, crashing out in the first round of playoffs. But this is a team that has really thrilled fans and fans across the league, really, with being one of the most talked about teams in all of USL.
All right, let's look at the highlights from this one. Oklahoma City moving on to take on San Antonio. Reno 1868 in a 0-0 contest against this OKC team until Vucic was able to find the back of the net, and then the rest of the way, Reno had a lot of chances between Dane Kelly and Brian Brown, and that one for Chris Weehan, but just could not get that equalizer. Some great defensive play from the likes of Jordan Morrell. And I tell you what, a lot of credit to this Oklahoma City defense, as not a lot of teams have been able to frustrate Reno quite like they did tonight. Their defense and the play and goal by Cochran, pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I think a lot of credit needs to go the way Oklahoma City defended, especially in that second half. I think Reno were kind of disappointed in the way they came out in the first half, but they came out much better in the second. But Oklahoma City, they held so strong all the way to the very end, and the end was very hectic for them as they walk away with a 1-0 win here at Greater Nevada Field.
Jordan Morrell still in disbelief as he'll try and take this one in here tonight. Many players still scattered throughout. Jimmy Ockford, the captain, such a phenomenal season and a very bright future for the 24-year-old out of Trenton, New Jersey. Captain on this team, and I think in MLS future. I think really for this Reno 1868 team, a lot of players came together from all over the world, all walks of life, and many of them, I think, will move on and have an opportunity to play at the next level.
Yeah, they've really shown that they're spectacular players. I mean, Jimmy Ockford stepped up and was an incredible captain for this team. Matt LaGrassa went from being someone who didn't get a lot of playing time with Sac Republic to being one of the best holding midfielders in all of USL. Guys like Dane Kelly and Antoine Openo, veterans, really showed that they are such lethal goal scorers. And really this whole team, they all banded together. They all stuck together as a family and had a great season. I mean, yeah, this is not how they want to be feeling tonight. They want to be coming home after a win and looking forward to playing San Antonio in the next round. But they can still hold their heads high after a fantastic season, after really just an incredible season from the team all around, from Ian Russell, from everyone in the organization.
Yeah, from the top down to the bottom, I think a lot of people have to be proud at what happened here this season at Greater Nevada Field. Eric Edelstein, president of both the Aces and Reno 1868. Andy Smith, general manager for this Reno 1868 team, came together. They were able to form the partnership with the San Jose Earthquakes, bring in Ian Russell, who I think still is a very deserving candidate for Coach of the Year. A special job that he did here with this group, Eric Bukhari and the rest of this staff. Again, I think this will be a season a lot of people will remember for a very long time, and you hope that with this partnership with the Earthquakes, you hope this Reno team can keep Ian Russell. They can bring back some of these guys and build off of what happened this year and hope for a return trip to the postseason and an even deeper run in 2018.
Yeah, now it's time to look at next year, try to build the squad to be maybe even stronger. But for now, these guys will take a much-needed rest. It's been a long season, a long 8-9 months, really, including preseason. And, I mean, they don't want to see it come to an end so early. but that's the reality of the situation.
All right, Colin Tabor, been a pleasure getting to share the broadcast booth with you this season. Had a lot of fun. Want to send out a lot of thank yous to a very hardworking crew here, both at the ballpark at Greater Nevada Field as well in our studios here in Northern Nevada. A lot of people behind the scenes that put a lot of their time and effort into putting these broadcasts on the air, and certainly want to give them some recognition. Been an absolute blast, a storybook season for this club in their inaugural year. 17 wins, a third-place finish in the Western Conference, but in the end, it comes to a close tonight at the hands of the Oklahoma City Energy. Best of luck to them and their fans as they will take on two-seeded San Antonio next Saturday. For all of our crew, for Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies saying so long from downtown Reno. Oklahoma City is advancing. Reno has their season come to an end. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.